a couple of days ago, Eddie Hearn said that Anthony Joshua might retire if he beats Andy Ruiz in the rematch. Now, people are obviously saying it was a throwaway comment and that he didn't really mean it. But the fact that he said it in more than one interview, because he said it here in this Boxing Social interview and also in this IFL interview, and he brought it up himself, the fact that he did that leads me to suspect that it wasn't just a throwaway comment. Now, again, I could be wrong here. This is just my interpretation of the situation as an outsider looking in. But I don't think that Anthony Joshua will retire if he beats Ruiz, and I don't think Eddie Hearn believes that he will either. My suspicion is that what Eddie Hearn is trying to do here is muddy the waters. Yeah, if any of you have heard that expression, muddy in the waters, essentially what it means is if you want to hide your true intention, you might want to throw some red herrings out there, yeah, to lead people in the wrong direction so that they won't clock on to what you're actually trying to do. And I think that, or I suspect, that's what Eddie Hearn is doing. He's throwing some red herrings out there because what he's trying to lead people away from, in my estimation, is that he intends to basically guide Anthony Joshua a lot differently if AJ beats Ruiz. I think he's going to be a lot more careful about who he puts AJ in the ring with. And I don't think that he's going to be so keen to put AJ in with a Deontay Wilder anytime soon if he beats Andy Ruiz. It's indisputable fact that he did try to make AJ versus Wilder several times. I mean, he even went to the lengths of getting John Skipper in to mediate, and John Skipper offered Deontay Wilder $120 million, which included a 2-fight deal against Anthony Joshua. So there's absolutely no question about it that AJ and Hearn wanted the Deontay Wilder fight prior to AJ losing to Ruiz. But that loss, excuse me, that AJ had to Andy Ruiz, that shook Eddie Hearn to the core of his soul. Shook him to his boots. He never imagined that Andy Ruiz would beat Anthony Joshua. His faith in AJ must have been shaken. He can't have the same level of confidence in AJ now that he had in him prior to the Ruiz loss. And therefore, what do you think he's going to do? You guys tell me. Eddie Hearn is a businessman. You seriously think he's going to be as gung-ho with AJ if AJ beats Ruiz as he was prior to the first Ruiz fight? Do you really think that? Does that make logical sense? Eddie Hearn has admitted that he moved AJ very quickly. I mean, we can all see that on AJ's ascent to the top of the division. He was moved extremely quick. Eddie Hearn said on many occasions, actually, we put him in fights he wasn't ready for. He said that about the Klitschko fight. Was he ready? No, but we put him in there anyway, and he found a way to win. You could see that he wasn't ready. These are things Eddie Hearn said himself, all right, after the fight, as well as before. So I think that Eddie Hearn is intending to pump the brakes on AJ and be way more careful about who he puts him in with. And I suspect AJ is also looking to pump the brakes. I mean, he's been saying stuff recently like, I might fight a Tom Schwartz level opponent or an Otto Wallen level opponent if I beat Andy Ruiz. You know, I want some easy fights. Again, people are taking that as throwaway comments, but it's been my suspicion for a long time that this is actually what AJ and Hearn are going to do. They're going to not be so maverick, not be so bold. They're going to rein it in, pump the brakes, and guide AJ a lot more carefully if he manages to beat Ruiz in this rematch. And the Wilder fight is going to have to make crazy money, I think, for AJ to want to get in there from here on in. You know, I mean, I'm sure AJ would fight Wilder, but Hearn is going to advise him go this way rather than that way. And ultimately, AJ, it's his decision to make, but I suspect there's going to be an enormous amount of pressure on AJ from Hearn and probably Sky to not fight Wilder for now, and maybe even fight Fury before he fights Wilder. Particularly if Fury can get hold of Wilder's belt. You know, that I think would be the ideal scenario in the mind of an Eddie Hearn. He'd probably think, you know what? If Fury beats Wilder, that's going to work out great for us. Because if we can do a unification between AJ and Fury, that's a less dangerous fight. You know, this is how Eddie Hearn, in my view, is probably thinking. And when I say less dangerous, in the sense that Fury's less likely to knock AJ out, that AJ would probably have more time in a Fury fight to maybe stop him. Whereas against Wilder, it's like blink and you could be on the canvas. With Fury, he's not that kind of puncher. Doesn't have that kind of dynamic, explosive power to be able to end the fight suddenly. So, yeah, that's my suspicion, people. I think that Eddie Hearn is trying to throw people off the scent by saying that AJ might retire. I think it's a red herring. It's done to muddy the waters and confuse people as to what's really going on in the AJ Eddie Hearn setup. So that's just my take on it. I could be wrong. I'm not an insider on this situation. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Will AJ and Hearn be just as keen to get the Wilder fight after this Ruiz rematch if AJ wins as they were before? I think no. Maybe you think yes. Drop it below. Let me know how you feel. It's happening. I'm out.